This is a video from eSkillZone. For more videos, notes, and certificate, please visit www.eskillzone.com. Hello. In the previous video, we have discussed main things about the computer hardware and of course software. But here in this video we will discuss only hardware of the computer and working of the computer hardware devices. So let's begin. Computer runs on electricity. It also runs very fast. A computer is fitted with circuitry, which we refer to as part of hardware. When we calculate sums, we often choose from the two or more different ways of computing the sum. This requires some intelligence. However, computers at present do not have any such intelligence and work in the same way to calculate any given sum. Computer consists of two things, hardware and software. Hardware are the things of the computers, which we can see or touch. And software are the things of computers that we can't see or touch. Computer hardware devices are keyboard, mouse, monitor, speakers, and many more, while computer software are video editors, computer games, video players, and many more. There are many hardware devices which enhances the use of a computer. Let's talk about some hardware devices. For example, keyboard, mouse, scanner, microphone, printer, etc. So, first, we discuss the keyboard. Keyboard is an alphanumeric input device. Alphabets like A to Z, numbers like 0 to 9, and symbols like @ hashtag, asterisk, etc. can be entered. When we press a key on the keyboard, the key pressed is stored in a buffer, known as the keyboard buffer. The hardware checks to the presence of data in this buffer, along with many other buffers that are present in the computer. Since the speed of computer is very high, so when we type characters with the help of a keyboard, it instantly appears on the monitor. There are many keys on the keyboard. Now, let's talk about them. First is caps lock key. This key is used for typing uppercase letters. For example, A, B, C, and many more. When caps lock is on, you can see the light on the right-hand side of the keyboard. So, when you type a letter, then it will appear in capital or uppercase. For example, if you type memory, it will appear on the screen as memory. If you press the caps lock key again, you will find that the caps lock key indicator is off. Now, if we type a letter, it will appear in small or lowercase. For example, if you type a word, memory, it will appear like this. Now we will discuss another important key on the keyboard, which is called the Shift key. There are two Shift keys on the keyboard. One is on the left side of the keyboard, and the other is on the right side of the alphabet keys. Remember, Shift key is used in combination with other keys. For example, when a Shift key is used with number keys, you will get the symbol written above the number. You should use Shift key when only one letter capital is needed. Use caps lock key when entire word is to be written in capital letters. In the next videos, we will learn about the circuit designing and more key of keyboard. Now, let's talk about an important part of the computer hardware. I am talking about mouse. So, mouse is a pointing device. A long wire connects mouse and CPU. It is used to draw pictures and select objects and text on the computer. A mouse has two buttons and a wheel in the center. You can perform the following actions with the mouse: clicking, and drag and drop. Next, hardware device is scanner. A scanner is an input device, which is capable of reading the image present on a piece of paper and transferring the information into a computer, where a program can store and interpret it. This information is in the form of a graphic image or picture and not in the form of a text. Even if the paper contained text, the information transferred is not text, but a picture of text. Optical character recognition software is necessary to read this image and convert it to actual text data. And this software varies widely in its ability to do so. Scanners range from monochrome scanners to flatbed scanners, and color scanners are capable of scanning a whole page at once. Next is microphone. It is an input device used to digitally record audio data, such as the human voice. It can be plugged into a computer or recorder. Many productivity applications can be accepted input via a microphone, enabling the user to dictate text or issue commands orally. Software in the computer converts the sound impulse into digital form. It is then stored in memory and processed when required. Let's talk about the brain of the computer, which controls it. Actually, brain of the computer is present in the motherboard. And the motherboard is the set of complex circuitry. There is a small square piece attached to it. This is called the CPU, which stands for Central Processing Unit. It is the complex circuit which controls all the functions of the computer. When computers were in their first stage, they were very low in speed and complex to use. With the increasing in the demand of calculations, computers also revolutionized. Intel is the company which introduces many CPUs with passage of time, which are more modern and fast than the older CPUs. These CPUs are started from a well-known CPU called the Core 2 Duo. Now let's talk about the history of the computer. Now, computer history is about almost of 5,000 years. It's all started from a simple computer called abacus. So, abacus is a wooden rack holding horizontal wires with beads strung on them. When these beads are moved, according to programming rules, all regular arithmetic problems can be done. Next invention that revolutionized the computer's history is the Napier's bone. Actually, John Napier was a Scottish mathematician, created logarithm tables to facilitate calculations. In our next videos, we will discuss more briefly about this invention. Do you notice that all computers invented at start was not for playing games, software, etc. But these softwares are only for the calculations. Actually, the reason behind this is the increasing of people's business, and they needed to calculate their money. So, the idea to make a machine who can calculate was emerged. With the passage of time, the computers are revolutionized and became more modern and smart. There are many generations of computer, which includes the first generation computers, which were the vacuum tubes. The second generation computers, which are the transistors. These are invented in 1947. The third generation computers, which were the integrated circuits, these were invented in 1958. And the fourth generation computers, which are called the microprocessors. These are the complete processing circuitry on a chip. These were invented in 1971. And the last and most advanced computers are the fifth generation computers, which is commonly known as the artificial intelligence, and these computers are still in their development stage. Now, let's talk about the types of the computers. There are basically three types of the computers, which are analog computers, digital computers, hybrid computers. We will discuss more briefly about them in our next videos. Now, we discuss some of the classification of the computers. There are mainly four classification of the computers. First is the supercomputer. These are the most powerful computers ever made, and they are physically some of the largest computers. Next is mainframe computers. These are the largest type of computers in common use. Next is mini computers. These got their name because of their small size. And last is microcomputers, which are also called personal computers. IBM was the first company who introduced microcomputer, the IBM PC, in 1981. Mini computers are available in different models. For example, desktop computers, laptop computers, and pocket computers, etc. There are many impacts of computers on the society. These have impact in education, business, online banking, retailing applications, computer simulations, entertainment, etc. Computers can perform various tasks depending on the requirements of the user. In order to perform these tasks, computers need instructions which tells them how to execute the required task. The set of instructions executed by the CPU to solve a particular problem is known as the computer program. There are many computer programming languages, including the low-level languages and high-level languages. And there are language translators, which transfer high or low-level languages into machine code. All the softwares available for this purpose can be differentiated into many categories: assembler, compiler, and interpreter. Assembler is a program that translates an assembly language program into the machine code. Next is compiler. It is a program that translates a source code into machine language. A compiler first reads the whole program before executing it. Next, we are discussing the interpreter. An interpreter looks at each line of the program, decide what that line means, checks it for possible errors, and then executes that line. Now let's talk about the ports of the computer. A port is a socket that enables an external device, such as a printer or mouse, to be attached to the computer. There are three basic types of ports: serial port, parallel port, and USB. First, we discuss the serial port. A serial port allows a serial hardware device to communicate with the computer by transmitting one bit of information at a time. Next, we discuss the parallel port. A parallel port lets an external parallel device to communicate with the computer by transmitting more bits of data at a time. It is much faster than a serial port. Most devices that send or receive large amounts of data, such as printer and scanner, use parallel port. These ports are the largest type of ports which are present in your computer. Next, we are discussing the most important port of the computer, which is used in large numbers of computers present in the world. Yes, I am talking about the USB port, which stands for the Universal Serial Bus. It is a plug-and-play hardware interface used for devices such as keyboard, mouse, joystick, scanner, printer, and also modem. And up to 127 devices can be attached with USB. This is a video from eSkillZone. For more videos, notes, and certificate, please visit www.eskillzone.com.